A message you were meant to receive before it becomes too late. I am the Lord your God, and I have selected this precise moment to communicate directly with your spirit. Cease scrolling. Do not depart. Not just yet. If you turn away at this moment, you may overlook the singular message that heaven has dispatched to alter your life eternally. In the forthcoming moments, you are about to hear something that was intended solely for you. Yes, you, who have been experiencing that peculiar heaviness in your chest, that subtle unease within your home, that feeling that something is on the verge of changing. What you perceived as merely an emotion is, in fact, a divine indication. God proclaims that you will soon vacate your current residence. A new dwelling has already been designated for you. This is not merely a relocation. It is a spiritual transition, a shift in your destiny. And if you continue to observe, you will comprehend why your present environment is no longer in harmony with heaven's intentions. However, if you choose to abandon this message now, you may postpone what has already been ordained to be unleashed upon your life. Angels are preparing accommodations. Blessings are packaged with your name inscribed upon them. And a prophetic transformation is occurring around you that you may not even perceive. Nevertheless, this message is urgent. This message is sacred. And it is not by mere chance that you are encountering it at this moment. Heaven does not operate through coincidence. This is a divine appointment. Therefore, remain, and watch until the very conclusion, because what is forthcoming will not only alter your address but also your music atmosphere. Heaven's alert. A transformation is imminent. There are instances in life when heaven signals an alert. Not with clamor, but with a profound stirring within the soul. Have you sensed it? That quiet unease. That restlessness when you occupy the same chair you have always used. That subtle irritation even when everything appears to be going smoothly. That is not merely the passage of time. That is not simply ennui. It is the Spirit's voice conveying to you, this is no longer your place. You were not created to remain indefinitely. The God who guided Abraham from his father's land is still leading his children to greater heights. The locations you inhabit. The residence you currently occupy. The structure, the ambience, and even the community have fulfilled their role. However, a new dwelling awaits, a fresh covering, a sanctuary selected by the Most High. This new residence transcends mere bricks and doors. It embodies destiny. God is orchestrating a shift for your divine protection. He is relocating you to realign your purpose and restore your peace. He is dismantling the familiar to unleash the miraculous. The reality is, the longer you remain in your current situation, the more your spirit will stagnate. Heaven beckons you to prepare not only your belongings but also your faith. Your time in this current abode is nearing its end, and soon, whether through divine guidance, unforeseen circumstances, or sudden opportunities, you will depart. This is a direct message from the throne of God to your heart. Music, this is not merely a message. It is a divine directive enveloped in prophecy, delivered straight from the throne of God into your very soul. It is crucial for you to grasp this. What you are undergoing is not confusion. It is not a random transition. It is not simply another season. No, this is a spiritual strategy. God has observed your life, your prayers, and the tears you have shed in silence within that home, and He has declared that the time has come. Time to move. Time to ascend. Time to enter the territory that was promised but never claimed. You have prayed for peace. Yet, peace cannot flourish in a place where your spirit has already outgrown the soil. You have sought healing, but healing necessitates the right environment. God is crafting a new atmosphere for your restoration. You have requested a fresh beginning. And now heaven replies, "Prepare yourself, for I, the Lord your God, will place you under a new roof, in a new location, surrounded by new blessings. You will pass through a new door that no man can close. You will reside in a home that angels have already visited. You will rest in peace and awaken under divine protection." However, here is the instruction. Do not doubt. Do not hesitate. Do not resist. This message serves as your confirmation. If your spirit resonates with this, if you feel something stirring within your chest at this moment, I encourage you to express it in the comments. I am convinced that God is guiding me. Please type it now. Do not hesitate. This declaration is not solely for your benefit, it is a public demonstration of faith. Articulate it with your own hands, and heaven will affirm it. I am convinced that God is guiding me. Speak it out, even if you are uncertain about how, where, or when. Faith does not seek specifics, it responds to the call. And this is the call. God is summoning you. The movement has already commenced in the spiritual realm. Now, you must manifest it through faith. Angels are advancing to pave the way. Pay close attention. Before you even begin to pack your belongings, before you know the destination, before any contract is signed or a key is handed to you, God has already sent angels ahead of you. Indeed, you heard correctly. The instant this message reached you, the heavens were set in motion. Invisible forces have begun to prepare the space you are destined to occupy. Just as God dispatched angels to the Israelites to ready the promised land, He is doing the same for you. You are not stepping into the unknown, you are entering a prepared place, and your destination is not a coincidence. There will be rooms where you will pray, and heaven will respond without delay. There will be windows where sunlight will grace your face as a sign that the presence of God is resting upon that location. That new home will be a sanctuary of deliverance, peace, and abundant provision. However, here lies the enigma. At times, the enemy will attempt to obscure your path before you arrive. He will seek to instill fear. He will whisper falsehoods. You are too old to relocate. You cannot afford a new residence. You lack the strength to begin anew. Let me clarify, those voices do not originate from heaven. They are distractions designed to postpone your arrival. These angels have already gone ahead. They are eliminating barriers. They are softening hearts. They are clearing spiritual debris from the territory. And while you may sit in doubt, wondering if this will truly come to pass, the workers of heaven are diligently preparing the next chapter of your story. God does not require you to fight for it. He simply asks you to have faith. Therefore, I urge you now, if you believe that the angels are paving the way for your new beginning, please write this in the comments immediately. Angels are advancing ahead of me. Yes, declare it. Angels are advancing ahead of me. As you do this, something powerful will begin to change. Your faith will activate divine acceleration. Your words will summon the miraculous. You see, when your faith aligns with God's promise, nothing on earth or in hell can hinder what has already been decreed in heaven. The delay you have been facing is not a denial. It is a preparation, and the spiritual traffic is clearing at this moment. If you resonate with this message in your spirit, if you have been waking up in the middle of the night without understanding why, if you have been feeling disconnected from the very place you once called home, then this message is not only true, it is urgent. The angels are on the move. The question is, will you follow? You may have sensed that something is changing. Let me pose a question to you, and please be honest with yourself. Have you sensed a shift within you recently, even though nothing in your surroundings appears to have changed? Have you walked through your home, the place you have inhabited for years, and suddenly it feels strange, as if it no longer suits you? Have you gazed out of the same window you have looked through for decades, and for the first time, it does not bring you tranquility? But understand this, my beloved, it is not aging. It is not mere coincidence. It is not a passing phase. It is a divine stirring. There is a spiritual discomfort that arises when God begins to call you into the next season. Your spirit can perceive what your mind has yet to comprehend. And at this moment, your spirit is receiving a signal from heaven. Prepare yourself. This chapter is coming to a close. You see, when God is about to move you, He first removes your comfort. He begins to make the things that once brought you peace feel burdensome. He disrupts your routines. He instills restlessness not to frustrate you, but to awaken you. Because the truth is, if He had not disturbed the nest, you would never learn to fly. At this moment, your spirit is extending its wings. Even though your flesh may still feel fear, you have outgrown the current season. This is why it feels constricted. This is why it feels arid. It is not a punishment, it is preparation. God is readying your soul for the next environment. He is detoxifying you from your attachment to the past so that you can embrace the new. That sensation in your chest, that discomfort, that internal struggle between the urge to remain and the knowledge that you must leave. This is the tension between your current state and where God is beckoning you. The more you disregard it, the more burdensome it becomes. Pay attention to me now. It will not dissipate until you comply. This is not merely a feeling, it is a calling. The Holy Spirit is gently urging you, whispering to you, calling you from within. This place was meant for a season. However, that season is concluding. Allow me to share something sacred with you. Even Jesus did not linger in one location for too long. He continued to move because movement was integral to his mission. If you sense that movement in your spirit now, it signifies that your mission is evolving. You are not too old. You are not too late. You are not overlooked. You are perfectly timed for a divine transition. If this resonates with you, if your heart is racing and your eyes are brimming with tears as you read this, I urge you to take action immediately. Type this in the comments below: Lord, I feel the shift. I trust you to guide me. Proclaim it with confidence. Say it with trembling hands if necessary, but say it. Lord, I feel the shift. I trust you to guide me because your obedience is the key that unlocks the next chapter. Your confession serves as a declaration to both heaven and hell. I will not remain where God is no longer directing me. Let this comment be your forward step. Let your words precede your actions. Let your faith resonate louder than your fear. For God is not inquiring if you are ready, He is asking if you will trust Him regardless. And when you do, everything will transform. The spiritual reason behind your sense of restlessness may have led you to repeatedly question, why do I feel so unsettled? Why does my home no longer feel like home? Why do I awaken with an invisible weight on my chest, even when everything appears to be fine? I will explain the reason to you. When you hear it, your soul will recognize the truth. Your spirit is no longer anchored in this place. God has initiated the process of uprooting you internally before moving you physically. You are not merely residing in a house. You are inhabiting a space that once aligned with your season. However, it is now misaligned with your destiny. There was a time when that roof offered more than mere shelter. It was a sanctuary of rest, healing, and renewal. But that time has elapsed. Now, you find yourself on soil that no longer resonates with your future. The restlessness within you is the echo of heaven proclaiming, "Daughter, son, this is not where your next miracle will occur." You are seeking peace in a place that God has already designated as temporary. You are attempting to find comfort in an environment where God has withdrawn His protective hand, not as a form of punishment, but for a purpose. Allow me to clarify something sacred that many fail to recognize. When God intends to bless you, He first disrupts your comfort. When He seeks to elevate you, He first disturbs your surroundings. And when He aims to shield you from unseen dangers, He will instill a sense of unease in the very place where you once felt secure. Your restlessness is not an act of rebellion, it is not anxiety, nor is it depression. It is spiritual movement, a divine discomfort intended to capture your attention. You have been praying, "Lord, speak to me." And now, He is communicating not only through words but also through waves of unease, urging you to rise, to shift, to obey. This is the reason your prayers feel more challenging. This is why your sleep is more fragile. This is why you feel as though you are navigating your home like a stranger. The Lord has already commenced the exodus. I understand that you may feel afraid, you might think, but I have resided here for such a long time. This is where my memories reside. My children were raised in these rooms. This is the house where I envisioned spending my final days. However, listen to me, God is not urging you to erase your memories. He is guiding you to accomplish your mission. Your purpose is not linked to walls, carpets, or furniture. Your purpose is connected to the voice of God. And wherever He leads, you must follow. Perhaps no one around you comprehends this. Maybe your friends believe you are overreacting. Perhaps even your family does not share your feelings. But you are not insane. You are called. And if this resonates deeply within you, if you have been quietly pleading with God for confirmation, for a sign, for a signal that you are not merely imagining things, this is it. This is your sign. This is your message. This is your moment. Therefore, take a courageous step of faith now. Write this in the comments: God, I sense you stirring within me. I will follow where you lead. Write it now, not later. Not when you are certain, but while you are still afraid, for that is when faith speaks the loudest. God, I sense you stirring within me. I will follow where you lead. Let the enemy hear it. Let heaven record it. Let your own spirit rise with it. You are not losing your peace. You are being guided to a place where peace will abound. You are not being punished. You are being positioned. The spiritual reason for your restlessness is both simple and divine. Your new beginning is approaching. The house you currently inhabit was designated for your past. There is something sacred you must grasp today. And once you do, your perspective on everything around you will transform. The house you are in at this moment is not cursed, rather, it has been completed. It has served its purpose. It was assigned to a season, not to your eternity. There were prayers answered within these walls. There were nights filled with tears, and God met you there. There were breakthroughs, lessons, and divine moments. However, that season has now concluded, and if you attempt to remain where God no longer resides, you will feel it in your very bones. The atmosphere will feel denser. The air will become stale. This is not due to the presence of evil, but rather because the grace designated for that location is diminishing. There exists a principle in Scripture that many tend to overlook. God bestows blessings upon individuals for specific seasons and locations. However, the location is never intended to define the individual. Abraham departed from his homeland. Moses abandoned Egypt. Elijah moved away from the brook. Even Jesus stated, "Let us go to the other towns also, for that is why I came." Your present residence, your current address was not designed to encompass your future. It was merely intended to facilitate your preparation. And now God is indicating that the preparation phase has concluded. The assignment is transitioning. Your forthcoming address has already been declared in the heavenly courts. Indeed, the documents may not yet be finalized. You may not possess the funds at this moment. You may not even know where to start. But God is aware. Because long before you contemplated relocating, He had already inscribed the next destination into your life's blueprint. And what awaits you is not merely a new location. It is a fresh anointing, a revitalized sense of purpose, and a divine appointment. Allow me to speak candidly now. Some of the weight you have been experiencing is not a sign of weakness. It is because you are attempting to wear a season that no longer suits you. Striving to exist in the previous season will inevitably result in spiritual suffocation. God cherishes you too deeply to permit you to remain stagnant where your calling cannot flourish. And if your heart is racing as you read this, if tears are gently flowing down your cheeks, it is because this message was divinely tailored specifically for you. Heaven has orchestrated your journey to encounter this message. And at this moment, I encourage you not only to accept it quietly but to respond in faith. Please write this in the comments below: my current house has fulfilled its purpose. I am prepared for what lies ahead. Declare it with faith. Declare it with anticipation. Let those words serve as your affirmation to heaven's calling. And if this message has resonated with you, if you sensed God communicating directly to you through these words, consider expressing your gratitude, and planting a seed of faith is planted by clicking super. Thank you. This is not a payment. This is not a transaction. It is a sacred expression of gratitude, honor, and partnership with God's message. If the Lord has moved your heart, you are encouraged to respond. Contribute what your spirit prompts you to give, whether it is small or large. Even a $100 gift given in faith and joy can serve as a holy declaration. I believe in this message. I accept this transformation, and I honor the voice of God speaking into my life today. As you do this, may heaven acknowledge your offering and reward it with divine speed and provision. Your next house is not merely a structure, it is a promise. That promise is drawing nearer each day. The new home is a place chosen by God Himself. Allow me to share something sacred, something that very few individuals come to realize in their lifetime. There is a location already designated by the hand of God specifically for you. It is not just a house, it is a divinely appointed sanctuary. A place where your soul will find renewal. A home that will not resonate with the echoes of past struggles, but will instead vibrate with new beginnings. I am not speaking metaphorically. I refer to a tangible space, a home with walls, windows, and rooms that have already been blessed by heaven. God has selected this place just as He chose Mount Moriah for Abraham, Bethlehem for the birth of Jesus, and the upper room for Pentecost. He is not directing you to just any address, He is guiding you to the right one. The energy of this home will be distinct. The moment you enter, your spirit will recognize it. Peace will envelop you like a warm blanket. The atmosphere will feel lighter because the burdens you have been carrying will not belong there. This home will be a sanctuary of healing. Some of you who are reading this have faced illnesses that seem resistant to treatment. But God declares, in this new space, I will restore your body. This will be a place of answered prayers. There are requests you have made that could not come to fruition in your current environment because the soil was not suitable. However, your new residence will serve as fertile ground for miracles, prosperity, and peace. Indeed, it will be a sanctuary of divine protection. The adversary has attempted to disturb you in your current setting. You have experienced spiritual assaults, sleepless nights, and peculiar shadows during your slumber. Yet, the new home that God is providing for you has been purified by angels prior to your arrival. No malevolence shall enter. No fear shall pursue. No curse shall adhere. This dwelling has been consecrated by the Spirit and set aside specifically for you. However, take heed, when God revealed the land to Abraham, He did not instruct, "Now go enjoy it." Instead, He commanded, "Go and take possession." This implies that you cannot remain passive and wait. You must act in faith, walk in trust, and take action. When God instructs you to move, even if all the particulars are not yet apparent, the design from heaven is already finalized. At this moment, God is awaiting your obedience to align with His plan. If your spirit resonates with this message, if something within you affirms, "Yes, this is my word," then do not delay. Respond immediately. Type in the comments, "Lord, prepare the place and prepare me to receive it." Write it with conviction. Speak it aloud as you type. "Lord, prepare the place and prepare me to receive it." This transition is not merely about changing locations. It is about aligning with your destiny. It is about being in the right place at the right time so that heaven's timing and your obedience can finally converge. And dear one, when that occurs, the doors will not merely open, they will swing wide. They will embrace you. If this message resonates with what you have been sensing deep within your spirit, I encourage you, as an act of faith and gratitude, to contribute to this moment by clicking Super. Thanks. It is not the amount that matters, it is the alignment. Let your offering declare, "God, I believe this word is for me." Whether it is $20, $50, or $100, whatever God places on your heart, your generosity is not simply support, it is a spiritual covenant. By honoring the word, you honor the God who delivered it. May your seed unlock the door to your new address. One that is blessed, guarded, and filled with divine peace. Signs that heaven is pushing you toward the new. Let me speak to the part of you that's been quietly wondering. Is this really God or is it just my imagination? Am I really supposed to move or am I just tired? Is this a divine shift or just a passing thought? Hear me now. Not with your ears but with your spirit. When God begins to move you, He always sends signs. And those signs are already happening around you. Some quietly, others loudly. And the more you try to dismiss them, the louder they'll become. Let me show you what they look like. Sudden discomfort in familiar places. You once loved sitting in that chair. You found peace on that porch. The kitchen brought you comfort. But now something feels off. You walk through the house like a guest in your own home. This is not a coincidence. It's a spiritual indicator. God is disconnecting your peace from this place. So you stop clinging to what he's trying to move you out of. 2 doors that once opened easily are now closing. Have opportunities dried up? Relationships that once flowed now feel forced. That's not a failure. It's divine routing. Heaven is closing every door that would tempt you to stay where God is no longer assigning you. Dreams, visions, or repeated numbers. Some of you have been waking up at the same strange hour, 3:33, 4:44, 555. You think it's just chance, but those are heaven's codes, nudging your soul awake. You've had dreams of walking down unfamiliar hallways, opening new doors, moving into new spaces. Pay attention. These are not random. They are prophetic blueprints being dropped into your subconscious. Strangers confirming what you've been secretly feeling. Someone sends you a message. A video pops up unexpectedly. A sermon speaks directly to your situation. That's not an algorithm. That's alignment. Heaven uses earthly means to deliver spiritual confirmations. The inner knowing that won't go away. Even when you push it aside, it comes back. Even when you convince as you allow yourself to wait, the prompting intensifies. That inner urge is not anxiety, it is the voice of the Holy Spirit urging you, prepare yourself. You are on the verge of a transition. There is no need for you to see every step ahead. You do not require all the answers. What is essential is that you acknowledge the signs and respond with faith. The longer you disregard these signs, the more your miracle is postponed. Consider this. The Israelites had the opportunity to enter the Promised Land in just 11 days, yet they prolonged their journey by 40 years due to their lack of trust in the signs provided by God. Avoid making that error. A prophet does not need to come to your door. You are reading this message now because God intended for you to encounter this specific message as one of your final indicators. Heaven is urging you onward. Now, it is your moment to affirm your commitment. Therefore, at this moment, express your faith. Declare it openly. Type this in the comments: I recognize the signs. I will not overlook them. I will adhere to God's guidance. Write it now. Do not delay. Do not scroll past and convince yourself that you will return later. Later may be too late. Faith acts in the present. I recognize the signs. I will not overlook them. I will adhere to God's guidance. If this message resonates with you as if it were crafted specifically for you, if every word has validated what you have struggled to articulate until now, I humbly and respectfully ask you to respond with a super thanks. This is not a request, but rather an acknowledgement that when God delivers a message that pertains to your future, it is sacred to honor it. Your expression of gratitude is a holy resonance, a signal back to heaven that proclaims, I accept this. I believe it. I trust you. Perhaps you feel inspired to contribute $33, or 70 Seth Evans, or even $100. Whatever God places on your heart, give it not out of compulsion, but out of prophetic alignment. Your contribution is not determined by the amount, but by the agreement it represents. You are entering a season where every act of obedience will yield multiplied results. Even your offering today may serve as the seed that unlocks the door to your new home. Observe, wait, trust, and act. The adversary will attempt to hinder you, but he will not succeed. Let me clarify. Please do not take these words lightly. The adversary is aware that your breakthrough is imminent. He has already perceived the movement in the spiritual realm. He has witnessed the angels being sent forth. He has heard the change in heaven's voice regarding your life. Consequently, he is in a state of panic. This is the reason why the warfare has escalated. This is why you have been experiencing sudden fear. This is why discouragement has appeared unexpectedly. One moment you feel empowered, and the next you feel as though you might collapse. This is not mere coincidence. It is not simply life. It is resistance. Spiritual resistance. Because Satan is aware of something you have not yet fully grasped. Once you enter the place that God has prepared for you, you will become invulnerable in ways you never envisioned. You will pray in a new manner. You will enjoy peaceful sleep. You will walk in divine authority. You will be enveloped by angelic protection and heavenly favor. And the devil is frightened by that. This is why he is attempting to inundate your mind with falsehoods. You cannot afford to take action. You are too old to begin anew. You lack the necessary qualities. He desires for you to believe that your best days are behind you because he is aware that your most significant season lies ahead. However, here is what you must comprehend, and you need to engrave this in your heart. The devil can only postpone what you permit him to distract. Allow me to reiterate that. The devil can only postpone what you permit him to distract. He cannot halt what God has already decreed. He cannot annul what heaven has ratified. He cannot affect what has been marked by the blood. Yet, if you heed his whispers, if you succumb to fear, if you begin to doubt the very word that God has confirmed to you repeatedly, then the delay becomes your responsibility, not God's. This is the moment when you must make a decision. Will you heed fear or will you pursue faith? For God is not merely inviting you into a new dwelling. He is beckoning you out of bondage, out of limitation, out of spiritual compromise. Every step you take toward the new home is a step away from the old adversary. And the moment once you cross that threshold, the curses that have followed you in the past will be severed. You are not merely relocating to a better address, you are entering a higher realm of spiritual authority. The devil is aware that once you step in, you will no longer be the person you once were. Therefore, I urge you to rise up. Do not merely feel this message, stand firm in it. Speak it aloud as you type it in the comments. The enemy will not hinder me. I will go wherever God directs me. Yes, type it now. Declare it. The enemy will not hinder me. I will go wherever God directs me. Your words serve as spiritual weapons. Your declaration is a strike in the spiritual realm. With each keystroke, you dismantle delay. You silence fear. You thwart the enemy's plans. If this message is stirring something profound within your heart, if it feels as though light is penetrating the dark corners of your being, then view this as a sacred opportunity to sow a seed of breakthrough. Click Super Thanks and contribute whatever God places on your heart. Whether it is $10, $50, or even $100, do so not because I requested it, but because you acknowledge that this is not an ordinary message. It is your affirmation, your release, your invitation into the next dimension of promise. As you give, let your offering declare to every demonic force that you cannot obstruct what God has initiated in my life, for the victory is not forthcoming, it is already yours. You will have to leave certain things and some individuals behind. This may be difficult to accept, but it is the truth. If you can embrace it, it will liberate you. Not everyone and everything can accompany you to the next destination that God is leading you to. Yes, it is painful. Yes, it is uncomfortable. But it is entirely necessary. When God prepares a new territory for you, He also purifies your journey. He does not merely clear the path, He sanctifies it. Sometimes, this entails detaching you from people, habits, memories, and even possessions that are linked to the version of you that is no longer relevant. Some individuals in your life are connected not to your destiny, but to your delay. They are not malevolent, but they are not aligned. They do not walk at the same spiritual frequency. They do not speak the language of where you are headed. Carrying them into your new space would taint what God is attempting to sanctify. You see, when God called Abraham to depart from his father's house, He never instructed him to take Lot. However, Abraham did so out of love, comfort, and loyalty. What was the outcome? Conflict, division, and delay. God ultimately had to separate them because what should have been a straightforward journey turned into a convoluted one. Now, God is urging you to scrutinize your circle, your attachments, and your baggage, both physical and emotional. What are you attempting to carry with you that God never intended for you to bear? Old wounds, family trauma, resentment from previous relationships, that storage closet filled with items just in case. Allow me to express this in love. Your just in case is hindering your finally arrived. This new home that God is guiding you towards is a realm of lightness. There is no space for burdens that were never meant for you to carry. No room for memories that continually reopen old wounds. No corners for individuals who cherish your presence but disregard your purpose. For some of you, this may be the most challenging aspect because your heart is loyal. You care deeply. The idea of letting go may feel like betrayal. However, understand this, obedience to God is never betrayal. Releasing someone who is not destined for your future is not abandonment, it is alignment. You can love individuals and still choose to walk away from them. You can honor memories without attempting to recreate them. You can bless the past while confidently moving into the future. However, you cannot retain what God has already released. This will demand courage. This will necessitate clarity. But above all, this will require trust. Trust that if God is asking you to walk alone for a time, it is solely because He is preparing a place where your next tribe, your next assignment, and your next blessing will find you. Therefore, I urge you now not to scroll past, not to dismiss this moment, but to confront it sincerely. What are you holding on to something that God is urging you to let go of? What fears are preventing you from moving on, even though it has been a hindrance? Speak it out now with faith. If necessary, express it with trembling hands. Please type this in the comments. Lord, I place my trust in you more than in my attachments. I relinquish what you have not assigned to me. This is not merely a comment, it is a declaration, a confession, a severing of ties. As you write this, a shift will occur in the spirit. You will sense it, perhaps subtly, perhaps profoundly, but you will be aware. A burden has been lifted. A door has swung open. The path ahead has become clearer. Obedience always initiates movement, and movement invariably leads to the miraculous. You are not forfeiting what you release, you are creating space for what heaven is bringing forth. Consider what you must do to prepare for this transition. Now that you understand that a change is imminent, that God has already communicated, that the angels have gone before you, and that the signs are unmistakable, the question arises, what should I do next? The promise is genuine. However, preparation is your responsibility. Miracles do not occur in environments of inaction. They manifest where faith intersects with action. God is inviting you not only to believe but also to take the first step. This chapter serves as your blueprint. These are the actions you need to undertake to align your life, spirit, and even your physical dwelling with what God is about to accomplish. Purify the atmosphere of your current residence. Start with something straightforward yet impactful. Traverse each room of your home and pray aloud with authority. Proclaim, Holy Spirit, fill this space. Every dark presence that does not belong, depart now. I return this house to you, God. Why? Because you are not merely vacating a building. You are concluding a spiritual chapter, and it is essential to leave it spiritually and emotionally clean. This is a sacred departure, not just a move. You are sanctifying the ground for your exit. Begin to let go both physically and emotionally. Start the decluttering process. Yes, physically. Begin to eliminate items that carry emotional burdens, spiritual weight, or connect you to past pain. That collection of letters from someone who hurt you. That drawer filled with items you saved just in case. That closet containing clothes that no longer fit. Not only your body, but also your identity. Release it. Each item you eliminate creates space. Not only in your home, but also in your spirit. God cannot fill hands that are already occupied. Therefore, begin to create space now. Act in the physical as a prophetic indication of what you anticipate in the spiritual. Document the vision. Even if you are unsure of the address, take out a journal and start writing what you wish for in this new home. Describe what you believe God is revealing to you. How many rooms? What type of atmosphere? What scents are present? What sounds do you hear upon waking there? Do not concern yourself with the how. God will handle the how. Your responsibility is to articulate it. Write it down. Have faith in it. This is not about fantasy. This is prophetic alignment. Hibachi 22 states, "Write the vision and make it plain upon tablets that he may run who reads it." When you document it, heaven begins to move towards it. Anoint yourself for the journey. Take oil, any oil, and pray over it. Use it to anoint your forehead and declare, "Lord, I dedicate myself for this new season. I will not miss my appointment. I will step into what you have prepared." Why is this significant? Just as priests were anointed before entering the temple, you are preparing to enter a new space that will become your personal sanctuary. You will not merely reside there. You will minister to God there. You will receive guidance. You will host tranquility. You will be rejuvenated. You must be set apart. Declare the shift daily, every morning and every night. Start vocalizing, "I am transitioning into the place God has prepared. I do not know when or how, but I trust Him completely." Why? Because your words activate your actions. Faith is not silent. It speaks. And what it articulates, it attracts. You may initially feel foolish, but allow heaven to hear you before the world does. Speak it until your actions begin to align with your faith. Now that you have received this instruction, I encourage you to respond, not to me, but to God. Please declare it in the comments. Boldly and sincerely, "Lord, I am preparing myself. Show me the way, and I will follow." Write it now. Do not hesitate, for this is not merely preparation. It is activation. What you initiate today in the physical realm will unlock doors in the supernatural. This phase of preparation is not intended to deplete you. It is designed to transform you. God is observing. Heaven is anticipating. The home is being finalized. Now, it is your turn to take action. The promise, peace, prosperity, and protection in the new home await you. Take a deep breath. You have come this far. You have endured the pain of letting go. You have commenced the work of preparation. Now, allow God to reveal to you why it was all worthwhile. This chapter is not focused on what you have had to leave behind. It is about what lies ahead. For what God is preparing for you transcends a mere change of scenery. It is a release into divine peace, supernatural provision, and heavenly protection. Let us begin with the first promise, peace. True, lasting, unshakable peace. You have existed in environments where you had to force peace. Where tension lingered at the dinner table like an uninvited guest, where your mind never truly found rest, where the very air sometimes felt charged with pressure and confusion. However, this new home is a place where peace will welcome you at the door. You will awaken without the burdens you have carried for years. You will sit in silence and feel fulfilled, not empty. You will traverse from room to room and sense that heaven accompanies you with every step. Because this home is not merely constructed for living, it is designed for communion. The peace that surpasses understanding, as stated in Philippians 4 verse 7, will guard your heart and mind within those new walls. No more spiritual noise, no more heaviness, no more unrest. Prosperity awaits, not solely financial, but holistic prosperity. Indeed, financial blessings are on the horizon. This new place will not be a burden. It will not come through debt or stress. It will be acquired with grace, not striving. You will receive everything you require and more. Unexpected favors, canceled debts, discounts you never requested, and opportunities that others could not access. However, beyond financial gain, this is a sanctuary where all that was postponed will start to flourish. Your creativity will be rekindled. Ideas will emerge. Divine strategies will manifest in dreams, during moments of prayer, and in tranquility. Your vitality will be restored. Your happiness will elevate. Even your physical well-being may begin to enhance. This is not due to the house being magical, but because the environment will finally resonate with heaven. Where God's presence resides, abundance follows. Psalm 23 verse 5 states, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows." Your cup may have been damaged by previous seasons, but in this home, it will be renewed and will overflow. There will be protection, divine, constant, and imperceptible to the adversary. This new residence is not merely a space of tranquility and wealth. It will serve as a bastion of divine safeguarding. The assaults that pursued you in your current location will not be allowed here. Why? Because God is constructing this place with unseen barriers. Barriers of prayer, barriers of angelic presence, barriers of covenant. This is not just a dwelling. It is a sanctuary for the Spirit of God. Psalm 91 will transform from a mere passage you read into your everyday reality. He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will abide in the shadow of the Almighty. No evil shall befall you. No plague shall approach your tent, neither your tent, nor your home, nor your dwelling. God is declaring, "I will personally safeguard this place." When storms rage outside, peace will prevail within. When confusion envelopes the world, clarity will flow into your home. When fear surrounds your neighbors, faith will rise within your walls. And those who enter your new home will sense it as well. They will say, "There is something unique here." And you will smile, not because you crafted it, but because God did. Now it is your turn to respond as a final act. Act of faith, trust, and expectation. Type in the comments below. I receive this peace. I accept this prosperity. I trust in this protection. Yes. Declare it boldly. I receive this peace. I accept this prosperity. I trust in this protection. Let these words be your yes to what heaven is preparing. Let them resonate in the spiritual realm like a trumpet blast of readiness, because you are no longer merely hoping. You are aligning. And what you align with, you attract. This is not the conclusion of your narrative. It is the commencement of a fulfilled promise. Testimonies from those who have been moved to a better place. There is something profoundly impactful about hearing what God has accomplished for others. Not for comparison, but for confirmation. For what He has done for one, He is capable and willing to do for you. You are not alone on this journey. You are not the first to feel the prompting to move, to shift, to release and trust. And the accounts of those who obeyed, sometimes fearful, sometimes uncertain, serve as living proof that God honors faith. Allow me to share a few of these genuine testimonies. Narratives of divine relocation, supernatural provision, and unimaginable peace. Susan, 68 years old, Ohio. I was widowed for 10 years and never envisioned leaving the home my husband constructed with his own hands. However, for 2 years, I experienced this peculiar pressure in my chest. Not physical, but spiritual. It felt as though God was gently urging me to start anew. I lacked the finances. I lacked the energy. But I had the voice of the Holy Spirit urging me, trust me. One night, I dreamt of a white house with blue shutters surrounded by trees. I awoke with tears in my eyes and documented it. 3 months later, a friend informed me that a house had become available for sale in the neighboring town. I was reluctant to go, but something within me insisted, just look. It was the house from my dream. Every detail, even the blue shutters. I made an offer without knowing how I would finance it. And somehow, every door opened. My offer was accepted, financing was approved, and I moved in less than 30 days. I have never slept so peacefully. The birds sing melodiously outside my window. During my prayers in this house, I have experienced visions. This place is more than just a home, it represents a promise fulfilled. My name is Raymond, I am 72 years old, and I reside in Georgia. I lost everything, my home, my retirement savings, and my self-assurance. I moved in with my son, convinced that I would never recover. However, one morning, while watching a sermon on YouTube, the preacher proclaimed, "You are not too old to receive a new beginning." Something broke within me at that moment. I knelt down and cried, asking God to redeem what I believed was lost forever. Within 2 weeks, a local pastor offered me a maintenance position at a church property, which included a small cottage on the premises. I have been living here ever since, rent-free and in peace. I cultivate tomatoes, play worship music on my porch, and lead prayer calls from my kitchen. At 72, I am just beginning to understand what true peace feels like. My name is Teresa, I am 63 years old, and I live in California. I spent 19 years in an apartment where I raised my 2 children, but I always felt it was merely a place for survival rather than a destination. In early 2023, I began waking up every day at precisely this occurrence unnerved me until I researched the significance of the number in the Bible, specifically Isaiah 44 verse 4, which states, "They will spring up like grass in a meadow, like poplar trees by flowing streams." I sense the Lord telling me, "I am planting you in a new place." A week later, my landlord notified me that the building was being sold. I felt panic, but God had already paved the way. A woman from my church mentioned that she had a guest house that she rarely used, and the rent was half of what I had been paying. That move turned out to be the best decision I ever made. Since then, my health has improved, my daughter has returned to Christ, and I host a small group every Friday in my living room. This is not merely a house, it is a revival. These narratives are not coincidental, they are breadcrumbs of faith left by those who chose to obey. They serve as your confirmation that you are next. God is not toying with your heart, He is not teasing you with hope. He is calling you, preparing you, and positioning you for your own testimony. There will come a time sooner than you anticipate when you will find yourself composing words similar to these. You will survey your new surroundings and exclaim, "I cannot believe I ever had doubts. I cannot believe I nearly remained where I was." God indeed had something greater in store all along. However, you will not simply have faith in it. You will experience it. Therefore, at this moment, engrave it in your heart and articulate it aloud as you write. I will possess a testimony. My narrative is being crafted by God. Declare it with sacred anticipation. I will possess a testimony. My narrative is being crafted by God because your breakthrough will not merely be a rumor. It will manifest as reality. And the moment is approaching very soon when your past will cease to define you. Only the goodness of God will have prayers that unlock doors and eliminate barriers. This moment is not merely symbolic. It is not poetic. It represents spiritual warfare and also spiritual triumph. You are on the verge of uttering prayers that will transform the atmosphere not only around you but also within you. Allow every distraction to dissipate. Let your mind find stillness. Let your spirit elevate because now we engage in prayer. You do not need to be flawless. You do not need to feel deserving. You simply need to approach God with sincerity, surrender, and anticipation. Speak this prayer aloud. Whisper it if necessary. Weep if you must, but ensure that every word belongs to you. Prayer. The sacred transition. Anointing. Heavenly Father, I approach you with reverence, with trepidation, with hope surging within my heart. I perceive your call. I sense your movement. And although I do not see the complete picture, I choose to follow your guidance. Lord, you are the God of Abraham, the God who beckons from the familiar into the unknown. You are the God who prepares places for your children. Not merely to exist, but to thrive. At this moment, I relinquish the home I inhabit, the comfort I have known, the attachments I have clung to too tightly. I offer you my fears regarding change. I present to you my doubts about timing. I submit my concerns about finances, my anxieties about aging, my desire for control, and I implore you, prepare the way. Dispatch your angels ahead of me. Eliminate every hindrance in my journey. Shatter every chain of delay, confusion and fear. Silence the voice of the adversary that spreads falsehoods. I proclaim that my steps are guided by you, that my forthcoming address is inscribed in your book, that my new dwelling is being secured by your presence. Father, may this home represent more than mere walls and windows. May it serve as a sanctuary, a place of rejuvenation, a space for revival. May your glory inhabit it. May your peace permeate every corner. Let no darkness cross its threshold. And now, Lord, I address the unseen realm. I command every obstacle to be dismantled. I declare that every locked door shall be opened. I prophesy that what has been postponed will be released. The property belongs to me. The key is mine. The time is now, in Jesus' mighty name. Amen. Now breathe. Allow that prayer to settle within you. For when faith is articulated, heaven pays attention. If that prayer resonated profoundly within your heart, I encourage you to make a public declaration of trust. Write in the comments, "This is my season." God is opening the door. Proclaim it boldly. Let it serve as a testimony for those who follow. This is my season. God is opening the door because something has just broken. Something has just shifted. And all that remains is to receive. Take a moment. Close your eyes if necessary. Allow everything you have heard, everything you have felt, everything God has whispered, to coalesce in your spirit, for this is the final word, and it is not the conclusion. It is the commencement of fulfillment. God speaks clearly now. You will not walk alone. I, the Lord your God, will take you by the hand. I will guide you step by step. You do not need to know every detail. You only need to trust me. This next move will be made not in fear, but in faith. Not in chaos, but in confidence. Not in confusion, but in divine clarity. A moment will arrive sooner than you anticipate. When the door will be opened, someone will reach out. An opportunity will present itself. You will pass by a house, click on a listing, meet a connection, receive a word, and everything will align, and you will recognize this is it. This is the one God has prepared. This is for me. The aroma of fresh paint, the tranquility of a serene night, the gentle breeze flowing through the windows, the initial prayer on the living room floor. This will not merely be a new residence. It will transform into a sacred space, a convergence point between heaven and earth. Every step you took to arrive here, every prayer, every sacrifice, every tear will find its purpose. You will not recall the fear. You will not lament the release. You will reflect back and express with tears of gratitude, God understood my needs and brought me here not because I earned it, but due to His faithfulness. And now, to all who remained until this concluding moment. To all who listened with an open heart, you are no longer simply anticipating the promise. You are now bearing it. You are filled with the expectation of fulfillment. Very soon, what has existed in the spirit will manifest in the physical realm. However, before you depart, I urge you to undertake 3 significant actions. Please type this in the comments. God is guiding me. I am prepared to enter my new home. Declare it with your spirit. Inscribe it with your heart. Allow the heavens and the earth to bear witness to your faith. If you have not done so yet, subscribe to this channel. The journey does not conclude here. More revelations, more words, more guidance will follow. You do not want to overlook the next divine instruction. If this message has genuinely resonated with you, if it felt as though God Himself sat beside you and whispered every word into your soul, then I invite you, with reverence and joy, to consider clicking super. Thanks. Not because it is obligatory, but because when we honor the voice of God, we invite divine acceleration into our lives. Perhaps God is prompting your spirit to sow $25, perhaps $100, or even more. Whatever He communicates, obey Him, not out of compulsion, but as a sacred act of trust. Let your super thanks serve as a memorial before the Lord, declaring, "This word was meant for me. I accept it. I believe it. I affirm it with joy." May your generosity unlock the precise door you have been praying for at the exact moment God intends. This is your moment, the ultimate confirmation. The commencement of your testimony is at hand. Heaven awaits. The key is on its way. The new dwelling is prepared. Now, proceed and grasp God's hand.